Welcome to the Blender Goon. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do some pipe bends. I was making this guy in a 4-hour live stream the other day, and I was having a whole bunch of trouble trying to make the feet and the shoulders and the hands. So I did some research and I figured out how, and there's about 3 different ways to do it, and I'm going to show you how. So to get started, I'm just going to hide all this stuff, so I'm going to select it all and hit H. And then we are going to be using the spin tool first. So if you hit T, you can bring up the menu, your T menu. And we're going to go ahead and make a mesh circle. And you can change your iterations to like 16. You want to get this to be how many vertex you want it before you start using your spin tool, because otherwise you can't change it because it is destructive. The spin tool is going to be working off of the 3D cursor. And what I mean by that is the center of your curve is going to be the 3D cursor, and you can change which direction it spins by hitting the X, Y, and Z. So if I do it here, it's going to spin around itself and make like a circle. So we'll do it on the Y, and I can just grab this little guy and move it, and it spins like that. So we have this ball shape. So once we have our shape started, we can go ahead and change the center axis here. So if I move it on the X this way, it'll change how it looks. So I'm going to move it to the right, and you can see that we're getting a curve there. And we can change it up and down like that. And we can also change the angle here, or we can grab this guy and rotate it like that. What you can't do though is change the size of its radius. So this is one way to get yourself a curve, and you can watch the degrees in the angle here, and put it at 90 if you want. You can even type it here, and then you have a 90-degree curve. And like I said, you can move this to make it taller or shorter, but you can't change the radius of it. So that's how to do it with the spin tool, and you can do some other stuff with it also. But remember that it rotates around the 3D cursor. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one, and I'm going to make a new circle. And I'm going to leave it at 16 vertices. And let's go to the selection box so we're not on the spin tool anymore. And this one I'm going to actually use the screw modifier. The screw modifier goes around the point of origin of the object. So you want to be in edit mode, and I'm going to go ahead and slide this way, but if you can see, my point of origin stays at the 3D cursor. And I'm going to go ahead and add a modifier, screw. So that gave us a complete mess, but that's because it's rotating around the Z-axis instead of the Y. So if we change this to Y, it goes ahead and makes us our little donut here. And we can take the angle of degrees and just back it off. And put that at like 90. And that gives us that. But the nice thing about the screw modifier is you can still scale the tube itself, or the ring itself, and you can still move it on the X and Y to change the height of it. So it gives you a lot more control, and it's non-destructive until you apply it. So you can do a lot of stuff with this, and it's probably the better way to make the object that I was trying to make before. So you can go ahead and tab in object mode, go ahead and apply your modifier, and now this gives you the geometry here. And if it's too much geometry, you can back up and go down to the steps and take them down, and you can see that if I go to 1, it turns into a angled pipe there. And take it up to like 8 or 12, and then apply that, and that'll give you a little better geometry. Actually, that's exactly the same geometry it looks like. Go down to, yeah, like 6, and apply it. And that's better. And then if you wanted to have the caps on the end, you can just select the edge, extrude it on the X, and then select this edge and extrude it on the Z. and then select both loops and do an Alt E along normals and give yourself that little pipe, and then do an auto shade smooth. And now you got a decent pipe. And I was struggling really bad doing this in my 4-hour live stream making my little pipe guy the other day. And the last way I wanted to show you guys how to do this was with the Bezier curve. So we can go ahead and delete this. And I'm going to make a plane because I like making my curves out of vertex instead of using the actual Bezier curve. So I'm going to go ahead and make a plane. Go into edit mode. Go into vertex select mode. And I'm just going to merge all those at center, which gives me one vertex in the center of the scene in edit mode. So now I can just kind of create my own curve. And then once you have your curve create or your vertex extruded, you can go back in object mode, go up here to object, come down to convert, and convert it to a curve. And that gives you your little green icon over here. You can select it, scroll down to geometry and bevel, and then just change the depth of it. And that'll give you a curve. And then while you're in edit mode, you can still adjust the curve how you want. So you can change the steps of this thing by the resolution. So you can make it square or octagon or lots of detail. So we'll give it like 6. And then you can just hit tab, go back to object, convert it back to mesh. And now you have your geometry there, shade smooth it. And then I want to grab this and actually do a X0 on it to straighten it out. So now I have a curve another way. Once you've applied this thing, if it's still not as smooth as you like, you can Control Z back to the back to the curve, or you can just go into edit mode and select these edges and just do a bevel on them, and then maybe give it one iteration. It's going to give you a little bumpy stuff, but it still serves a purpose. Depends on how precise you want to be, but you can do it that way also. So that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it and you want to see me make this pipe guy and fight with it like crazy making these bins, I'll put a link on the video here. And if you enjoyed it and it helped you, go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you can, join my Patreon. Lots of more content in there. And don't forget to join the Discord. That's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.